My parents gave my Hyundai Elantra to my brother without asking, so I filed a police report. Hi, I'm Sean, 34, and the day I stopped being my family's doormat was the same day I watched my own father call the cops on me for stealing back the car I owned. It started with an empty parking spot. My 2023 Hyundai Elantra, the one I bought brand new, paid off with 11 years of busted knuckles and sunburns, was gone. Just gone. I was walking out from a roofing site job, half asphalt parking lot, half forgotten strip mall with a tax place and a closed down vape store, thinking about the cold meatball sub waiting in my cooler, when I saw it. Or didn't see it. Empty space. Middle of the day. Sun blazing. My heart didn't drop at first. It stuttered. Like, hold up, did I park weird? I spun in a dumb circle, keys already in my hand, clicking the fob like maybe it'd answer. No beep. No blink. Just a hot, shimmering rectangle of asphalt. My name's Sean. I've been a roofer since I was 19. The guy on site before sunrise, with a thermos full of black coffee, steel toes caked in tar, and a lower back that sounds like a box of gravel every time I stand up. I'm the eldest. The fixer. You got a leak at 2 a.m. I'm there. You're short on rent? I wire it. Your kid needs new cleats? Uncle Sean has it covered. So yeah? When I saw that space where my Elantra used to be, I didn't panic. I called my mom. She answered like I'd interrupted her episode. Oh, honey, she said. Relax. We gave it to Trevor. He needed it more. Trevor. My younger brother. Age 28. Totaled 2 cars in 3 years. Once drove with no oil because, and I quote, the light was just a suggestion. You gave him my car? I said, blinking like the heat might change the words. Well, you don't really need it for work, right? She chirped. You've got the company truck. I felt the words fizz in my throat. Mom, I just paid it off. The title's in my name. Trevor's going through a lot. He had a job interview. We all have to pitch in sometimes. I hung up. Just straight hung up. Then I called the police. I said my name. I said my plate. I said the car wasn't borrowed. I did not give permission. The dispatcher asked if I wanted to report it stolen. I said yes. Because it was. They think because I fix things, because I don't scream or cry or slam doors, that I'll roll over. They forget I measure twice, cut once, and keep every receipt. That car wasn't just a car. It was a victory. My first brand new anything. No duct-taped fenders. No Craigslist prayers. Just 4 doors, working AC, and peace of mind. And my family decided it was a community asset. Trevor took it. My mom helped. My dad? He didn't stop it. He probably handed him the spare key I left in their junk drawer when I replaced their front lock last winter. Because I was always the one who showed up. This time, I showed up in the company truck, yellow folder in the passenger seat, and a furnace in my chest that said, enough. I parked 3 houses down from my parents' place. Just sat there for a minute, hands gripping the steering wheel like it was the only thing keeping me from putting my fist through a wall. The neighborhood was quiet. Suburbia on pause. Lawns cut within an inch of their lives, American flags fading on porches, and that one neighbor who always leaves their garbage bins out 2 days late. The usual. I walked up to their front door with my yellow folder under my arm and boots that still smelled like roofing tar. Didn't even knock. I had a key, ironically. They gave it to me back when I used to feed their cat during cruises I never got invited on. Inside, my mom was slicing zucchini like it was any other Thursday. Didn't even look up. Oh, Sean, she said. Don't be dramatic. Dramatic? I held up the empty title envelope like it was a smoking gun. Where's my title? She didn't flinch. We needed the VIN to add Trevor to the insurance. My chest went tight. You added Trevor to my insurance? For just a little bit, she said, waving the knife like that excused felony-level fraud. He's your brother. No, I said, pulse hammering. He's your problem. I looked at my dad, who was parked on the couch watching a local news story about a stolen tractor like it was more interesting than his son's stolen vehicle. You good with this? I asked. He didn't even turn. It's not like he took it forever. I wanted to throw something. Instead, I opened the drawer where I'd left the spare key last winter. Empty. Just receipts and stale mints. The title envelope was there but opened. Fingerprints smudged on the flap like evidence. That drawer was supposed to be neutral ground. A safe spot. What it really was. A symbol of how many things I'd loaned my family that never came back. Trevor had let himself into my car, with my key, took off in my Elantra, and they just nodded like it was a shared casserole dish. "You're blowing this out of proportion," Mom said, sliding the zucchini into a frying pan. "It's just until he lands on his feet." "He hasn't stood on his feet since 2016, I said. She clucked her tongue. "Stop using scary words. Theft. Fraud. He's family." "Exactly. That was the problem. I left before I did something that got me arrested. Drove back home, printed out every receipt I could find, insurance, purchase agreement, registration, all of it. I created a folder titled, 'They Took My Damn Car,' and made 5 copies. I uploaded digital backups to the cloud. I filed the official police report. And then I waited." Sunday dinner came fast. My parents insisted I come. "Let's talk like adults," Dad said. "We're all family." "Sure." So I showed up. Set the yellow folder down on the table right next to the mashed potatoes. I didn't sit. "Where's my car?" I asked. Trevor leaned back in his chair, smug like he was on a reality show that gave out sympathy instead of cash prizes. "You really called the cops?" he said, laughing. "Man, that's messed up." "What's messed up is you driving around in a car that doesn't belong to you," I said. Dad sipped his beer. Mom scraped the pan like she was trying to drown out the conversation. I flipped open the folder. Tapped the police report number. "Read out the name on the registration, Sean B. Keller." "That's me," I said. "Not Trevor." Aunt Michelle, who'd been invited for some reason, muttered, "This is between you boys. Don't ruin dinner." That's when I pulled out the insurance form showing I'd removed everyone but myself from the policy the day prior. "You driving now, Trevor?" I said. "You're not covered. You get pulled over, you're toast." Trevor scowled. "You think this makes you the good guy? You're turning on your own family." "No," I said. "I'm turning toward a life that isn't constantly being drained by people who think help means ownership." Dad stood up. "Put the folder away, Sean. You made your point." "I'm not done," I said. Because I wasn't. Not by a long shot. Midway through my sentence, a knock hit the door. Not loud. Not urgent. Just official. Like someone tapping with gloves on. The whole room stilled. My dad muttered, "You didn't." "I filed the report," I said calmly, like I wasn't about to implode. They followed up. Trevor froze, like a kid caught sneaking out a window. "No way," he said. "You actually brought cops into this? You're not built like that. Guess you don't know me as well as you think." Dad opened the door with the warmth of a hostage negotiator. 2 uniformed officers stood there, calm and polite but not here to chat about the weather. "Evening," one of them said. "We're looking for Trevor Keller?" Trevor stood but didn't move. "This is a mistake," he said, hands raised like they were about to cuff him for a triple homicide. "It's my brother's car. We're family." The officer glanced at me. "Sir, can you confirm ownership?" I handed over my folder. "All of it. Registration, insurance, photos, texts, title, the works." The cop flipped through like a teacher grading homework. He nodded once. "Vehicles registered to Sean Keller. You were reported driving it without permission. We're going to need to see the keys, sir." Trevor hesitated. "I was gonna bring it back Monday." My mom jumped up. "Don't arrest him. This is a misunderstanding." "No one said anything about arresting him," the officer said patiently. "But Mr. Keller has requested documentation of unauthorized use. For insurance. And safety." Trevor's eyes narrowed. "You're serious? You want me on record as a car thief? You're the one who took it," I said, voice steady. "Without asking. With my spare. Off my policy. That's not family. That's theft." My aunt made a noise like someone had stepped on a cat. "Sean, please. This isn't you." That made me laugh. Actually laugh. Because no one in that room had ever asked who me really was. I was just a guy who paid, fixed, and shut up. "This is exactly me," I said. "You've just never seen him." Trevor fished the keys from his pocket like they were burning his fingers. He slapped them on the table. "Fine. Take your stupid car." I didn't touch them. "I want it impounded," I told the officer. "Documented chain of custody." Full report. My dad finally snapped. Jesus, Sean, you're blowing up your whole family over a car. No, I said. I'm stopping the part where family means you can gut my boundaries and call it love. The officer nodded. Sir, we'll have the vehicle towed for now. You'll receive the receipt within 48 hours. Trevor sneered. Hope it was worth it, man. I looked him right in the eye. 12 years of helping you out. Rent, tires, gas money, bail, Trevor. And not once did you say thank you without needing something next? So yeah? It's worth it. The officers walked him outside to verify the car's location. The Elantra was 2 blocks over, parked crooked with my company magnet peeled halfway off like it was trying to escape, too. They took it. Professionally. Calmly. The paperwork, the photo, the tow. Inside, the silence had teeth. My mother dabbed at her eyes. My dad cracked a beer like it was the end of a football game. My aunt whispered something about counseling. I just stood there, looking at the table where the folder sat open, my whole life in triplicate on printed sheets, and I realized I'd never felt safer. The group chat detonated that night. First it was my mom. We are horrified. You brought police to your brother's doorstep. Then my dad chimed in. You embarrassed your mother. Overreacted. Badly. Trevor, of course. You really did it, huh? Hope you feel big with your little folder and your power trip. And then Aunt Kelly, never one to miss a cue. You broke your mother's heart. This family used to mean something. I didn't reply. I was too busy scanning the digital copy of the impound report into my backup folder and locking it behind a passcode. What they didn't know. I didn't need applause. I needed evidence. For the first time in my life, I wasn't out here reacting, I was documenting. Monday came and went. No car, no apology. Tuesday, the impound lot called. Car matched the report. No damage. Ready for pickup. I took a long lunch, drove the company truck down, and waited while they brought it around. The guy behind the counter handed me the keys with a nod and a copy of the log sheet. Looks like it sat quiet, he said. Couple fry wrappers and 1 vape pen in the cup holder. Otherwise clean. I popped the trunk. Sure enough, there it was. Trevor's gym bag, a hoodie that wasn't mine, and a pair of those ridiculous neon sneakers he calls Grails. I left them in a trash bag beside the dumpster on my way out. The moment I sat in the driver's seat, I just breathed. The fabric still smelled like his cologne, some musky discount body spray that clung to the vents like a bad decision. But it was mine. It was back. The only thing of real value I'd ever bought for myself. On the drive home, I scheduled a full detail and steam clean. Then I did the real work. Called my insurance. Changed the policy. Called the DMV. Updated the address and locked the title. Bought a small safe and stored the spare key at the shop, not at my parents'. Set up 2-step verification for everything related to the car. Then I went home, parked in my own space, took off my boots, and sat on the porch with a cold beer, watching the light fade over the neighbor's roofline. It hit me how quiet my phone had gotten. No texts begging for favors. No guilt bombs. No gaslighting about being too sensitive. Just silence. Still, heavy, earned silence. Mateo came by later with tacos, spotted the Elantra in the driveway, and whistled. Damn, he said. You really got it back. I nodded. And I didn't even have to yell. He grinned, handing me a taco. That's how you know it worked. We sat there eating on overturned buckets like 2 guys who'd seen enough nonsense for one lifetime. We didn't talk about Trevor. Or my mom. Or what it meant to finally draw a line and not flinch when it bled. We just talked about real things. Like how his daughter was growing crystals for a science fair. And how adulthood is mostly paperwork, sore knees, and knowing when not to answer the phone. By Wednesday, I'd blocked Trevor on everything but email. Not because I wanted to hear from him, because I wanted a record. Sure enough, the subject line came in like clockwork. You owe me. No. Hey. No apology, just full caps fury. The message was half threat, half tantrum. I had a job lined up. Now I gotta walk or borrow from someone else because you're spiteful. If I lose this, it's on you. You'll ruin me. I read it 3 times. Then replied with exactly 4 words. Do not contact me. That opened the floodgates. A second email, longer. Then a third one that actually made me laugh out loud. Fine. I'll just tell everyone you hit me when we were kids and that's why I act like this. It was so desperate, so absurd, I nearly forwarded it to my high school therapist with the subject line, "Update, still unwell." Instead, I archived it. Because I wasn't fighting anymore. I was closing doors. Quietly. Permanently. The real change didn't come in one dramatic gesture. It came in the ripple effects. I removed myself from my parents' phone plan. Temporary favor. I'd been paying for 6 years. I canceled the pest control renewal on their house. Set it to their name, their card. I unlinked their Hulu account from mine. Petty? Maybe. But it was like removing hidden straws from my wallet, every little slurp adding up over the years. Mom didn't take it well. Your father couldn't watch the game. This is what you do now. Punish us? I typed back. You can add your own card. It's not punishment. It's responsibility. Her reply came 10 minutes later. You've changed. Money made you arrogant. I stared at that line and whispered to no one. No. Boundaries made me calm. Trevor, meanwhile, pinged me from a borrowed number. I didn't pick up. He left a voicemail. You got my car impounded. You owe me a replacement. This is war. I didn't answer. I filed the voicemail under legal trash in my records folder. Every time they tried to drag me back into the old script, I answered with a new one. No. Not discussing. You'll need to figure that out. Simple. Boring. Effective. And the strangest part? Work got better. Like, noticeably. I stopped clenching my jaw while tar mopping a dormer. I stopped grinding my teeth thinking about who might be siphoning my bank account next. Mateo noticed. You're walking different, he said. Like you lost 50 pounds. I smiled. Feels like I left something heavy behind. I had. A legacy of guilt, an obligation dressed up as love. And all it took to drop it was one click of a door lock, one yellow folder, and the courage to say, "You don't get to take from me just because you share a last name." About 2 weeks after I got the Elantra back, my phone buzzed with a name I hadn't seen in months, Tasha. My sister. The quiet one. 3 years younger. Moved across the country a while back, went to nursing school, now works at a pediatric clinic in Denver. We don't talk much, not because there's bad blood, but because in a family like ours, silence was the only way to stay sane. I picked up. Hey, she said, voice low like she was calling from a break room. Hey, I said back, instantly on edge. Everything okay? I saw Mom's post, she said. The one where she compared you to a disgraceful outsider who calls the police on family. I snorted. Only 6 likes. 2 from her minion friends. Tasha chuckled. Then went quiet. Sean, she said carefully. I saw the group chat before she started deleting the messages. Ah. So she knew the whole circus. I didn't respond, she added quickly. But I just wanted you to know. I get it. Like, deeply get it. I sat down on my porch steps, boots unlaced, air crisp with the kind of peace that only comes after someone finally respects your silence. I left, she said, because I got tired of being the third wallet in a family of black holes. I blinked. You never said that. Didn't have to, she said. We lived it. We both laughed. Quietly. Sadly. Then she said something that lodged in my ribs like a spark. You did something I couldn't. You named it. The silence that followed wasn't awkward, it was sacred. The kind where 2 survivors of the same shipwreck finally see each other floating on separate planks and wave without shouting for help. She told me she was proud of me. Just like that. No big speech. No drama. Just, I'm proud of you, Sean. You won't hear that from them. But you should. I didn't cry. But I didn't speak for a long time either. When we finally hung up, I looked down at my boots. One lace had come completely undone, lying there like a metaphor for the life I was slowly, finally, tying back together. That night, for the first time in years, I slept without grinding my teeth. And in the morning, when I walked out to the driveway and saw my Elantra, clean, locked, and quiet, I nodded at it like an old friend. Let's go, I said, tossing the folder in the passenger seat. Not to war. Not to family court. To work. Just boring, satisfying, good work. The next fallout came like a leaky roof in February, slow at first, then sudden and cold. It wasn't dramatic. It was practical. Turns out, my parents had been relying on me for more than rides and rent bailouts. I was the invisible scaffolding for a dozen things they either forgot about or just assumed ran on goodwill. The streaming services? On my card. Their car insurance autopay? Set up through my account when Dad's credit card bounced in 2018. Pest control? My login. My card. I spent an entire Saturday morning unwinding it all. One by one. Calling, logging in, changing emails, removing payment methods. I did it calmly, systematically, like patching a roof before a storm you know is coming. And oh, the storm came. Mom texted at 6:42 p.m. Your father missed a game. You turned off the cable? I replied. I stopped paying for it. You can add your own method. Her reply came 5 minutes later and read like a dagger dipped in vinegar. You're punishing us. Money's made you cold. I stared at it for a second. Then typed back. No. Clarity made me warm to people who don't steal from me. Then I muted her for the weekend. Trevor's spiral, meanwhile, was louder. He tried calling from 3 different numbers. One of them left a voicemail. You owe me, man. You got my car taken. I'm gonna lose my job. This is on you. I blocked the number. 2 hours later, I got another message. Fine. I'll tell everyone you kicked me when we were kids. You think you're better than me? You always have. I laughed. Out loud. Standing on a roof ridge, holding a caulk gun in one hand and my phone in the other. The sky was a perfect blue. Mateo looked over and raised an eyebrow. What's funny? He asked. Family threats, I said. You want one? He grinned. Pass. By Monday, even Dad stopped texting about the garage door that wouldn't close. A few days later, I got a photo from him, door half open, propped up with a broom handle and duct tape. I didn't respond. They wanted me to fix things. But they never asked what it cost. Now, I was sending invoices in the language of silence. Boundaries are funny like that. At first they sound like a slammed door. But really, they're the click of a lock, mine, and the first night's sleep that doesn't end in resentment. 3 weeks later, my dad showed up unannounced. He stood on my porch like a man who'd taken a wrong turn and didn't want to admit it. Wore his old baseball cap, hands in his jacket pockets. I didn't invite him in. Just stood in the doorway. You made your point, he said. I didn't respond. He shifted. Your mother's been crying. I'm sure she has. You don't have to be cruel. I'm not, I said. I'm consistent. He blinked like that was a new language. One he didn't like. Brian's having a hard time. Brian created a hard time. And then the crack happened. His jaw tightened. You think you're better because you bought a car? No. I think I'm responsible for what I buy. And I'm done paying for what I didn't. That shut him up. Eventually he nodded once tight. No apology. No speech. But he walked away without slamming the door. That felt new. Small kindnesses started showing up elsewhere. The dispatcher who took my 911 call mailed me a printed copy of the report's sticky note attached. Keep this for your records. The tow guy knocked off part of the fee. Said, family mess ain't your fault. Even the detail shop guy, the one who steamed Trevor's vape stink out of my cloth seats, said, this one's on us, man. I tipped him anyway. Because dignity deserves full price. A month later, I took a long drive on a Sunday morning. No destination. Just empty roads, dew on the asphalt, coffee in the cup holder. The Elantra hummed beneath me, clean, quiet, mine again. I rolled the windows down. Let the wind hit my face. Let the past shake loose like dust from a tarp. No dramatic epiphanies. Just peace. At home, I built a new folder. Labeled it Proof of Calm. Registration. Insurance. Photos. Police report. I locked it in my safe. Because safety, I'd learned, is boring until you don't have it. Then I did the boring things that people forget matter. I paid my bills early. Fixed my gutter. Reorganized my toolbox by size, not color. I even vacuumed out the work truck. Twice. Just because it felt like I could. Trevor still sends the occasional grenade text. I reply with one word. No. Mom tries old scripts. I say, love you. Not discussing. Dad dropped off a broken mower. I don't have grass. I left it on the curb. Someone took it. Not my problem anymore. Tasha sends cat pics. I send clouds. That's enough. Guilt still sniffs around the porch sometimes. I don't chase it off. I just don't let it in. I didn't get a happy ending. I got something better, a boring one that finally belonged to me. Sunday dinners stopped. Not officially. They just fizzled. No more passive-aggressive pot roast. No more group texts about who's bringing pie. The silence felt rude at first. Then it felt like peace. Trevor tried one last Hail Mary. He showed up at my job site in a rental. Said he needed to clear the air. I told him he had 5 minutes. He used 3 to insult me, 1 to guilt me, and 1 to say he forgave me. I said, "We're not doing this. I don't owe you, and I don't miss you." He left spinning tires. 2 weeks later, I saw the Elantra in my rearview mirror. Not literally. Just a reflection. My reflection. I looked like someone I'd finally respect. Clean shirt, calm eyes, no lingering sense of being used. My worth, I realized, was never up for negotiation. It was just waiting for me to defend it. Family doesn't outrank ownership. Love doesn't mean access. And boundaries? Boundaries are how you keep the porch light on without burning down your house.